Hey everybody, welcome to game 2 of this match against Boulanger. As you have seen, this video is rather short, which is why I decided to actually commentate over it. I was still not feeling well, so I did do the whole robot voice, right? Um, but since it's short, I was like, I have the time, I can commentate over it, give you my thoughts, give you my explanations, because as you'll see, there's a reason for why this is short. To preface, it didn't matter who won or lost. We had the highest amount of points in the first stage. We were gonna get through to the playoffs either way, no matter how this match ended. That's number one. Number two is, at this point, I didn't want to do another 40-minute game. Not because I didn't really enjoy the previous game. Actually, believe it or not, I actually did. Even though it was full of RD spam, I wasn't really annoyed by the game. And obviously, helped that I won. That always helps when you play, right? But even throughout the game, I never was really that annoyed. Except for like individual unlucky things like my 27M missing both of its missiles against the Merkava and stuff like that. But like, other than those small things, the game, I kind of enjoyed it. But again, it helps that I won. So I just wanted to get this over with. So as you can see, I decide to employ a certain strategy that is not illegal. I wouldn't do this in ranked outside of like a meme video or really in any tournament whatsoever. Unless like this, it doesn't really matter. So I ended the set of two quickly in one way or another. So yeah, I was playing Commonwealth Mechanized. My opponent was playing Red Dragons unspec. And yeah, Mechanized of course does get 2 veterans here on its entire vehicle tab now. So with the Vickers, with the Aslevs, with the Wombats upvetted, they're all in elite. That helps a lot, of course. This is Battlefield, it's a small map, it has a direct road to the enemy spawn. I think you can count 1 and 1 together yourself. So yeah. Obviously if it works, I win. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna surrender, because there's usually, if you fail with all ins like that, there's no point in playing. If you think it's cheesy, if you hate me for it, so be it. Again, the match didn't matter, so whatever. I'm just gonna skip ahead until the game starts here. You can, so you don't have to see those camera tricks. And yeah. Also decided to start with the Gazelle just to get a quick feel of what my opponent opens. Here's the important thing. I still haven't seen a helicopter, specifically a Recon helicopter. So up until, for quite a while, I basically know that he hasn't spotted me yet. I'll show you in the replay in a second when he actually spots me. But that's why these days I just always open with Recon healers. You know, they give you so much information, even if it isn't about like cheese like that, of course. They still give you so much information, so much to work with usually, especially on maps like that where you have a lot of open field and you can get eyes on it very, very quickly. So yeah, I also have all of my units. Let me just pause. I have my Vickers, my Aslevs, and my Rovers, actually in 3 separate control groups. Specifically, the Rovers are important. They don't have a stabilizer on their recoilless rifle, so being able to only select the Rovers very quickly, tell them to stop or just shoot at something, is important, because obviously as long as they move, they won't be able to shoot. Aslevs and Vickers, of course, have stabilizers, so it doesn't really matter for them. So yeah, I have the Rovers selected. And here, that's the T90. And tell them to shoot at the T90. It gets sideshot by Vickers, dealing 7 damage. Some of the Wombats hit. Only 1 or 2 hit. And he retreats into smoke. The others all continue moving forward. And then T90 gets line of sight again and boop! Dies. You will have to see it. Hotel CV. At this point, I thought that he was trying to run away with the Hotel CV. As you'll see in the replay, I actually killed it. Also made sure to move some Aslas with that, because especially at this short range, they're basically my AA, right? Mechanized does not get wheeled AA, so the Aslivs are actually my anti-air. However, what also really helps a ton, Red Dragons have not the greatest helicopters, at least when it comes to dealing with stuff like that. Specifically, they don't have good rocket pods. All the best rocket pods they get are 1 HE. S5s, right? On their Hinds or on their MI4s or on their MT500s. They're not gonna really do any significant damage to something like this. What you'd want is something like MTVs, right? 2 or 3 of them are just gonna stop the entire column and kill a ton of it, panic it, stop it, stun it, etc., etc. Red Dragons doesn't have something like that. That helps a ton. They have some good heals, right? The Gazelle with the Hot, really good actually, but not for stopping stuff like this. John Maho, but the Vickers, that they don't really care. 17 AP, basically guaranteed hit, right? Kill it, and then he surrenders. Kind of funny, not gonna lie. Yeah, let me just show you the replay. Because again, this isn't meant as like I'm gonna teach this guy a lesson, right? Bulancher knows this himself, right? But I'm just probably the most boring tournament player out there. I'm so predictable with what I do that nobody's gonna expect me to do this. Usually my strats are always the same. I always do the exact same things, right? And he just doesn't see this coming. Literally. As a result. So... although I was actually surprised for him to open hard on here, but I don't know what opener I would have done with Mech, Commonwealth Mech against Red Dragons. Either way, he still doesn't spot me. He spots me the moment he unloads these. Small spoiler alert. Briefly. There we go. Still not spotted, right? He technically has line of sight here, I very much presume, but poor optics, right? In an entire minute until he spots me. This is how far I am, right? The Gazelle is... if he had a helicopter here, like a Recon helicopter here, he would have spotted me like back there already. That might not sound like a lot, but it would give him so much more time, right? The T90 could have waited down here, right? For example, this thing could have already been in the BTR-60P driving somewhere else. John Maho could have already like stopped back here and moved there. The WCs maybe could have been moved back. The WCs that he ended up buying could have already been spawned on the way, right? 105 points in 1 minute. That's 2 Lushandui, easily, 3 of them even, right? And by the time I got here, the 3 Lushandui would have been in the town, unloaded here, all the cannons waiting. With 20 RPM, stuff driving down there would have killed it, right? This is why I use freaking helicopters. Oh, one of the reasons. Again, it's not like it mattered. There's a good chance, or basically guaranteed chance, that had this match mattered, Boulanger probably would have played his Baltic Front motorized that he still had available. He had 3 decks to choose from, and you play only 2 matches, right? So it would very likely that it would have failed there already, going up against a different deck, right? But this isn't meant as like, Boulanger could have won if he done this and that, so much as a general kind of like, this is why Recon heroes are important. And of course, this is an extreme example. It's not always... Recon healers aren't just there to save you from the stuff like this, but it goes for any opener, right? Anything that you don't expect, especially when it's moto or helicopter based, right? Any kind of push that goes against what you prepared for. This is where Recon healers just help a ton. They help you prepare, they help you set up positions in better spaces. Yeah, this... I spotted this, but I didn't identify it when it killed it, so I didn't realize I killed an infantry CV there. And, yeah. I think at this point, I'm not sure what he could have done. I don't think any of the planes could have realistically... if he had a B5, if he got it spot on, I think even then, I don't think it could have saved him because that basically would have been all his points, and he could have wiped out everything, right? Enough would have gone through to probably kill the CV here. Yeah, and then he surrenders, right? Because he was out of the spawn, he couldn't even buy anything anymore. Yeah. Again, the match didn't matter, and if Bullinger really try hard, he would have picked a different deck anyway, right? But it's still funny. And yeah. Next in the tournament are the playoffs, which means that I don't think they're best of fives, maybe they're best of sevens, or the finals might be best of sevens, but I think until then they're probably best of fives. It's gonna be playoffs, single elimination, I think. So yeah. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.